Welcome back, gang, to Nopes and Opes. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Hylan.
Yep.
And today we are talking about, I guess, the fear of success, we would call it.
Well, like not necessarily fear, but I think it turned into kind of like the worry.
Yeah,
right? Like
the worry, the anxiety that comes with success.
Yeah. What are some of the pitfalls? What are some of the things that cause, some thoughts to come into your head?
Yeah.
Like, hey, what happens if this happens? Da da da.
And the reason for that is because we now have 220 subscribers, which is mind-blowing because usually we're used to having 20.
I think that's so funny that we're like one of the we went to the like in high school, my friend and I, Tim Fitzgerald, we went to the casino one time, right? And we were playing like the nickel slots or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think we won like $10 or $5 or whatever. And we were just ecstatic. We're just like, wow, like just going crazy. And like everybody, like all the old ladies and stuff, like come flying over, and they're like, "What you got? Like,
did you win like 1,000, 10,000?"
And we're like, "No, man! Like we won $5 on the nickel slots," and they're just like one, like super disappointed, and two, like angry.
Yeah, they're like, "You just wasted my time."
Yeah, you just made me come over here for like we were, So it's just perspective is important.
Yeah. So what we kind of are starting to have the success, but we got excited. And we started to talk about like, with this newfound success, like what's going to happen?
Yeah, what's the difference between 200 subscribers and 2 million?
Well, and it also started with a video that you'll be able to watch about how Hylan has kind of like grown from never wanting to be on camera to now having a podcast where he's on camera all the time.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
we didn't actually address that as much as we should have.
No, I think someone did a tactic of changing the subject very quickly.
I like that. Someone. Good job, someone.
But overall, it's a fun episode, kind of reflecting on where me and Hylan started and kind of where we're hoping to take this thing. And happy that all you new subscribers are along for the ride. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And
that's all I got.
Okay. See you guys. So just to start off, right? So I'm going to show the audience on YouTube this video. But to start, I'm going to show you this video, and then we're going to have a discussion about it.
On your phone?
And it's on my phone.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. Okay.
I know it's not as much fun on my phone, but there's a reason it's on my phone.
Oh.
And so I'm going to first play it for you.
My interest is piqued.
It's a very quick video, and then I'm going to have some thoughts to share with you.
Do I share my thoughts, or I just watch the video?
Just watch the video, and then we'll have a discussion, and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
I have to find it. I probably should have pulled it up beforehand, but that's okay. With movie magic, I will edit around this.
No, that's okay. Like, just kind of gives me a chance to get myself where I need to go and get ready to do some thinking.
It's a very quick video.
Okay.
I'm going to.
Is there any sort of preface, or I just watch
I don't. If I preface it, it'll give it away.
Okay.
And I think I want a specific reaction, a thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
With this, so I turned the volume all the way up. I will play the video for everyone now.
You can't tell it's a book, right? Like the other ones, you can kind of. Man, Ron, can you please tell me like?
Hylan's like, no, absolutely not. So the reason behind me showing you this video is it just gives you an idea of how much Hylan hated being on camera. That he was upset that I did not give him a warning. I was filming a fence that we had built. By the way, beautiful looking fence.
Gorgeous.
I mean, that fence was killer.
That's what I was focused on. And then I saw myself like ducking out of the way. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
And so one of the reasons what I want to talk about is I want to reflect on the huge amount of growth you've had to now where you're at, where we're on camera. You're actually watching the podcast. And I'd like to reflect on that.
Well, I don't with the new haircut. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch it. I'm actually super stressed out about like when I actually turn on the video and see myself on the camera. Because Okay, so just to give a little bit of background into how this actually happened, because I look at myself and I'm like, Hyland, you look like a really, like, just a homeless 12-year-old kid that doesn't have any parents and no one's looking out for you. Like, really old 12-year-old kid. But yeah, so basically, I just had a really, really tough week, really stressful, and I just needed a change. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to cut my hair. And I just took the clippers and just started
Just
chopping
went for
away.
it. Just went for it.
And a lot more came off than I was planning for. And here we are. This is what we got. And so I don't know if I'm going to be watching episodes.
Yeah, you're a little bashful.
Moving forward.
But not to say, in the past few weeks, you've told me that you've watched all of them when they come out on Monday.
Yeah, I watched. Like, I get so excited.
Yeah.
Like Monday, like when you don't. One day I was off or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 10:30, and I turned it on, and it wasn't downloaded yet or
Yeah.
uploaded or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "What the heck, Rowan? It's like, come on, like let's get on it, buddy." Like I was a little bit mad at you.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
how-
gang. I
that's-
try to upload the same time every day, but
Yeah.
it'll be uploaded on Monday, and if not, I will make it known.
No, So I have been watching, and I gotta say I'm super impressed with the episodes that I've watched. It's kind of weird. I've actually there's still the awkwardness when I talk about the podcast. Like I don't know if that'll ever go away. I don't think I'll ever just be like, yeah, like I'm a superstar podcaster.
It's the best thing ever.
No, like I don't think that'll ever happen. But I've had much more confidence and much more abilities to say, yeah, I do have a podcast, and yeah, like if you want to watch it, that's fine. Like before, that's never happened.
Mhm.
Like that's there's never been any sort of confidence.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, if you want to watch, it still makes me super nervous, and
Yeah.
like my whole stomach turns upside down. But there's a fair amount of
Yeah.
confidence. For
I
sure.
will say I've also kind of gotten to the point where now I feel like we have a polished enough product that I can be proud of it. Because when we first started, it was very kind of like, run and gun. Like, I mean, I'm just figuring it out as we go. But now we're in a position where I feel like, we kind of gotten all the kinks out. It's a little more professional. And so like with people I work with and people that I just kind of haven't really talked to in a long time, if they hear about the podcast, I'll, actually suggest it to them. And it's been nice to get to that point.
Yeah.
But the sheer fact that in that video you literally are upset that I didn't, and he told me after, because I stopped the video because I didn't want to upset Highland. But your whole premise was like, hey man, like let me know before you film something so I'm not in it.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, are you ready to be filmed? Like, are you in position? Like, cameras are all good?
No, man. I mean, it's really that is still the same. Like people, like my friends, like one of my friends promote. Every time we get together, he always does like the selfie of all the whole group,
Yeah.
and it's like a game. Like he tries to catch me in the video, and I'm always on my guard, like trying to like block it. And I think I'm pretty successful in blocking it because I'm like, once he pulls out his phone, I'm like,
You know what he's doing.
I'm on to you, buddy. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't like to look in mirrors. I don't like sometimes when I look in the mirror, I just kind of like it's like shocking, like whoa, what the heck? Like who is that person? So and I've always been like that. I don't know
But one of the funny things is it's such an interesting kind. I don't want to say phenomenon, but like the fact that you don't want to look in the mirror is very interesting because a lot of the things we're doing is like, I would say, emotionally looking in the mirror. Like we're very vulnerable and we're releasing all of this stuff and just talking about it. And then, filming it and editing it. And then you'll watch the episode. And in a way, you are looking at yourself and, or you just only pay attention
I'm
to me.
studying myself like crazy.
Yeah.
Like when I'm watching the episode, I'm just like critiquing the heck out of it. Right. I mean, and the cool thing is I really, there's a couple things actually, but one, the Rowan cam really makes you look very handsome.
Gotta love the Rowan cam.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I think the Rowan cam has been a huge success. From the people that I've talked to, people really enjoy the Rowan cam. And then admittedly that's one person, but loves the Rowan cam.
Okay. Well,
and then two, but I think the Rowan cam, like for whatever reason, man, I don't know if it's the lighting or whatever, but really handsome.
Yeah.
Like makes you, but like fully accentuates.
What's funny
the
is
Rowan experience.
how you feel about it and then how I feel about it. So the thing that bugs me is that this is in like 4K resolution. It looks great. That camera is a little bit older. It's the camera we started on. It's not in as good of resolution. You are in no way aware of this when you're
I
watching.
feel like we should switch those cameras then. Like put that
Absolutely not. This looks so good. I don't want to only have me looking good. Like I feel like this is the shot that matters. This is where the thumbnail comes out.
It right down the middle and just be like, okay, we don't even like. You could just move the camera. Like you could just focus all the.
I get 2 camera angles.
Yeah, like once in a while. Like
do you know how weird of a podcast it'd be if you were just like never on camera and I just was looking over?
Already.
It is, but just a nondescript character off to the side that I always talk to.
I think it'd be great, man. I would watch the heck out of that.
I know you would. You'd be like, who is this stranger that's so wise? And
like in the words of Sarah McLachlan, just building a mystery, right? It would just be every week, just a little more to the mystery.
Yeah, but how have you felt that like being on camera has gotten easier, or is it still as difficult as when we first started?
I don't think about it as much, right?
Mm.
Like I am shocked to admit that I love doing this podcast. Like I think we're gonna get to this, but the amount of subscribers that we've gotten to is crazy huge to me. And like other people are gonna be like, what the heck, man? You guys still aren't anywhere near that number. And I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Like to me, I'm just like, what? Like that is amazing. That's the most like no way. Like I didn't think we were ever gonna have 3, like, but whatever. And
for a while we were at the same pace. Like we had never gotten more than around 20.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of steadily doing that. And the numbers have changed.
Well, but like in that regard though, I mean, like even if we were at 20 for the rest of doing this, like whatever it turns out to be, I am shocked at how much I really enjoy doing this and how much I look forward to these weekends and how much these weekends totally reverse. I mean, because we recorded the first episode last night.
Yep.
Today is Saturday. And like my whole outlook on life is completely just reversed. Like very much more sunshiny, very much more positive. So yeah, man, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I appreciate the amount of subscribers and I appreciate the sense of success that I'm feeling, but also the amount of success is kind of freaking me out.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what? People are paying attention?
Yeah.
Like, that's not like, whoa, what?
So to give context to what Highland's talking about, as of right now, we're at 220 subscribers.
What?
And for a while we were just at like 28. In a matter of 28 days, it's increased about 195. Which is huge and is really cool. But coming with this territory of having more subscribers, people are also now able to leave comments on videos and we'll see them. And we have gotten our first, I would say, negative comment. I wouldn't say hate, but negative comment. And then we've also gotten our first positive comment from someone we don't actually know in any regard. They are a stranger to us. We've never met them. We have no affiliation with them. And
we don't know, do we? We don't know who they are.
Well, I mean, they have like a username and a picture, and from the username and picture.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't say like, well, they referred to you as the dude to your right.
Yeah.
And they didn't say like, oh, Highland is this way, or Rowan, you're so good at this, whatever, they're talking about. So with this, newfound success, and, success is relative, right? I'm not saying like we're crushing it,
stipulations on there.
Yeah.
Like Rowan and I perspective of success, other people would just be like laughable. Right?
Well, what's funny is like, so Highland is not necessarily big on YouTube, meaning like he doesn't watch it all the time or pays attention to the like analytics of it all. I do. And so like I know some, certain podcasters or YouTube content creators that have like millions upon millions of views and subscribers and whatnot. So if I compare myself to them, I'm like, dude, I'm nothing. But what have done instead of comparing myself to others is I compare myself to just the past Rowan. In the past, when I tried doing YouTube on my own, like when I had filmed like vlogs and stuff,
Yeah.
I got to 40 subscribers. That was the highest I ever got. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Congratulations.
I'm at 220 with my own, like, starting anew. And so it's like, okay, if it continues to grow, I'm just comparing it to where I've been, not where other people are at. Because, and it's the same thing with like, um, like your body. Like if you're lifting, you could look at some dude that's been in the gym for 10 years and you're like, geez, I have no muscles compared to him. It's like, yeah, well, he's been doing it for 10 years.
Well, have you ever heard, do you know that, like the cliche or the saying or whatever about comparison?
Yeah, comparison is the thief of joy or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's a really, those are important words, right? And if you think about that and actually can implement that in a very real sense in your own life, like, I mean, so much, especially with the advent of social media and just kind of the environment that we all live in today, right? Where we know so much about what cars we drive and what houses, where we live, how much money we make, whatever, da, da, da.
Well, and social media is just, it is a platform to share the things that you have.
Yeah, it's almost based off of the idea of comparing yourself.
Yeah, it's show and tell.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, if you can do that in a very real sense, I think, like, if you want to make one small change that would make a huge difference, is try, like, and that's the thing. I don't even think we can not compare ourselves, right?
Yeah.
I think because it's so prevalent. But if you could compare yourself less, I think it would make a huge difference.
Well, I also think if you're just mindful of the comparison,
yeah.
like for instance, me and Highland watched a funny little video the other day about Chris Williamson, who is a podcaster of modern wisdom, super successful. I think he has like 3 million subscribers, right?
Yeah.
I can look at the way he speaks on this podcast and the way he articulates and the guests he have on and easily say to myself, your podcast is in no way as good. It's terrible.
Yeah.
No one should watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm mindful of it and I go, hey man, I enjoy it. I like it.
Yeah.
It's growing. We're getting better at it. Whatever that means,
Yeah.
So it's more of just being mindful of where you stand versus, and it also helps that I'm not on social media as much as I ever was. So I'm not like, oh, this person's having this much success, or I see this new podcast that's been doing it for 3 months and they have like 5,000 subscribers. You're like, I've been doing this for a year and a half, or whatever it is. So
yeah.
It's good. Any other worries with this newfound success?
Well, like that's the thing. So I've been thinking about this, and I kind of had like a little breakdown the other day when I saw, like, I looked and I think there were 112.
Yeah.
And I was with a friend and I kind of had a little breakdown because I just freaked myself out, and I'm like, what if this actually is successful?
Yeah.
And that brought on, like, I guess like a little, like, I don't suffer anxiety attacks or anything like that, but just like it just took my mind all these different places. Like, what if people actually expect things from me? What if I have to share? Like, what if we like have to hire people and like they don't agree with my vision?
Yeah.
And like Rowan has his little team and does this and that, and like, what if I have to sell out?
Do you think,
what if like all these what ifs, and I just kind of like freaked myself out, and I kind of like broke down and just kind of like had to take a moment and just sit down and kind of pull myself together, and so it was like that was the first time where I kind of just got flooded and just totally overwhelmed.
Do you think part of that is with the more success comes more responsibility?
Absolutely. 100,000 million trillion.
Yeah, because it's really nice now. I mean, well, I guess not now, but like when we were recording, only like 20 people were listening. It was like, hey guys, like it was just kind of like hanging out with a few people.
Yeah.
And now that more people are possibly going to watch it, it's like, oh, there's kind of an expectation of professionalism and whatnot. I mean, we're still going to keep it light and fun. But just overall, like I started to feel that sense of responsibility where, I have to be very mindful of the things I say,
Yeah.
which I've always tried to do, but there's just like a little extra level of pressure, I guess I would say. But
Well, and the topics and the content and the way that the flow happens and the
yeah.
dynamics and is the lighting correct, and like we switched up the color today, like
Yeah, let us know what you think of the orange.
Yeah.
If it's better than the purple, or if there's a color you'd like to see, let us know in the comments. Or
yeah.
we'll change it. We'll try new things.
But no, everything just elevates.
Yeah.
Just that little bit, right? And with that elevation comes more responsibility and more worries and more kind of stress, and
Yeah.
the expectations are higher.
Are you excited for the possibility of more responsibility?
Oh man. I want this podcast to be successful.
Mhm.
I don't know what that actually means, because I want it to be successful. I want a
It-
million subscribers,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I don't want to lose my soul. I don't want to become like some of the videos we were watching today. I saw the people and they were just laughing, and it was totally fake laughing,
Mm.
just because they were doing they were performing.
It was a
right?
performance. Yeah.
They were on the stage and they were filming their podcast, and they were doing what was needed to be done in order to get the views.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and it kind of made me sick. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I don't. But I think with a certain amount of success, well, I mean, that brings up a whole nother topic. Like, do you have to sell out in order to be successful? Do you have
Yeah.
to kind of lose your personal ideals and compromise in some way, which to me is selling out, in order to continue the rise?
Well, I think that's a great transition. So, for instance, we've grown in subscribers, and I've started to do things like really put a lot of focus on the thumbnails because everyone's always been saying it's so important. And I always fought against it. I was like, I don't care about these things. I don't want to do it. I don't care. But clearly, it does have some effect.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
The thumbnails look freaking awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
Really, really
We're trying.
good.
We're trying. And so, yeah, thanks to YouTube for providing all the videos so I can figure out how to do it. But one of the things I was struggling with is that now we've found the success and I'm starting to see the trends of what does well on YouTube. It made me start to go like, oh, do I need to start trying to cater the subject matter to things that do well? And it was
Oh.
kind of like a worry. And so what I think I want, and I think it's in line with what you want, is I also want to be successful. If we got to 1 million, 10 million, 1,000, whatever the number of subscribers is, I don't care. I think my hope is that if people watch the podcast, it helps them in some way.
Yeah.
It makes them feel good. It makes them laugh. And we do it our way. That's the
and
biggest
it
thing for me.
makes people feel empowered.
Yes.
For me, that's a really, really big, like that's the kind of the essence for me.
Yeah.
And
And
so
so
I want you to feel like when you get done, I want you to feel like I got this.
yeah, I just like
whatever I'm going through, I got this.
yeah, and that's I think the kind of core. Like we've talked before about like what our mission statement is and like trying to figure out like what the podcast is. And at least from the perspective of what matters to us about the podcast is that,
Yeah.
making people just feel good, empowered, and overall like, in a positive place rather than it being a negative place. Cause we're not doing this for vanity. Like we're
Oh,
sharing
God.
emotional things and things that we don't even tell friends, like, and so it's more of just to try and help people. So I think if we stay the course of that, no matter how successful or how many people watch, I think we'll stick to it and we'll enjoy it. And the nice thing is like, I know we've jumped from 20 to 220 subscribers, but it's still such a gradual, slow thing. So like I think we will begin to grow, but it's gonna be slow enough that we'll be able to handle it. I don't think tomorrow we'll have 2 million subscribers and be like, what do we do now? Like that's so unrealistic. It'd be cool, but I think
Well,
realistically we'll get
like
slow
if
growth.
I guess, and we haven't really talked this through at all, but like if, let's say tomorrow you did wake up and you had 200,000, whatever. Um, do you think that would change the way that we do things?
I hope not. I just think that let's say, okay, for your example, tomorrow we have 2 million subscribers. One, yippee, I'm super excited. That's really cool. I'd be asking questions of why? Why do we have so many subscribers? What is the feedback? What are people saying? Are people commenting? Are people enjoying it? Because ultimately, what I think is interesting is once you get to a place of growth, right? We always talk about wanting to like connect with the audience, right? That's a big thing about this year. And something that I've kind of been a little worried about is how much connection we will have with the audience. So if we have 2 million subscribers, are we flooded with comments and emails of them saying like, talk about this, talk about that? There are going to be things that we're not necessarily going to want to talk about or don't feel comfortable answering, or opinions that we don't necessarily agree with. And that'll be a very interesting thing to navigate when it comes to that. Because as of right now, it's pretty much just our opinions and our subject matter that we bring to the table. We've gotten some input from, friends and family, but not from actual people that are strangers.
Yeah.
And so if 2 million people all of a sudden subscribed and tomorrow we had this huge number, I would be excited to see the kind of conversations we could have and the impact. But I don't think I would change anything because, the only thing I'd change is like I would up the production value, like I'd be like, okay, we can afford to get like a little studio set up, maybe I'll move out of my parents' house, just kind of financial things. But yeah, that's kind of what I would think. What would your mindset be if we all of a sudden had 2 million subscribers tomorrow?
Well, I think this is so funny because a huge part of my personality, my kind of aura, whatever, is that
That word.
you'll always see me like in a hoodie
Yeah.
and basically looking fairly similar to what I looked like yesterday and what I'll look like tomorrow. And I think if you ever see me in like a white button down shirt on this podcast, I just think it's over. Like I just like
That's the
I
last episode.
I could just see. Well, I don't know, like somebody comes in and buys it, right, or something like that.
So
Or
this worry of
yeah,
changing.
this is super.
Well, like what do you think this worry of like selling out and all that? Like, what do you think would cause that to happen? Because
Okay,
it'll never be my expectation for you to change.
no, absolutely not. I just think this actually really like we're kind of joking around about the subscribers.
Right.
I am, but in the big issue for
Yeah.
me is the more the more success you have, or the more other people are involved,
Yeah.
the less authentic
Mm.
you tend to be.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what's scary to me. Like I don't if somebody came in and said, hey, you could have 100 more subscribers today if you wore this shirt.
Mm.
And then I say, oh, 100
Yeah, 'cause
100 subscribers, like that would be.
And it's also tough because, like if someone was saying, like, hey, we will sponsor you and we'll
Yeah.
give you $100,000 to
Yeah.
put, like this bottle of whatever right here.
Yeah.
Might be like, Highland could use, some money. I could use some money. Like, why not? Throwing it out there. Brands. No, I'm just kidding. But no, all jokes aside, that's also something that I've been kind of a little worried about. But the thing that's nice about this is that So one of my friends had said, like, one of the things he loves about this podcast is that we film it in my childhood bedroom underneath a bunk bed. Which, sometimes it pains me, right? I don't love the aesthetic, but if you guys like it, awesome. That's
I
where we're
love
at.
it.
Right. And so the thing is like, even if 2 million people started subscribing, I think the thing that is most important is for like the podcast, for like this to stay the same. Like the dynamic of how we sit down to record and the environment, I think is super important.
Yeah.
So like, even if we do have to like hire people, I would be like, okay, everyone get out. Now we're time for us to record. So that way, like, this will stay the same. I think that's very important to keep in mind. But yeah, I can understand like the little bit of worry, hey, someone will offer a lot of money just to say one little phrase or put one product in front of you or wear one t-shirt. It's interesting.
I I think we're having this conversation and we're way, way, way ahead of ourselves.
Well, I think
for sure.
Well, I think the nice thing is that we believe in ourselves. We believe in the podcast, and I think we will get to a position of success. Now, is it going to be a position of success where, someone's going to be offering us thousands upon thousands of dollars to do something? Probably not. But if we get enough people that we can start to like pay for things like through revenue from the podcast, that to me is the point I want to reach. Not necessarily that we're like, oh, we're the next YouTube sensation. I'm buying a Lamborghini. I'm buying a brand new house. Like, no, none of that stuff. Just more of like, it's a business and the business actually makes money for itself and we can reinvest it into it to make it better, to reach more people, to help more people, to empower more people, just to constantly grow it in that sense. Not any financial gain for myself, financial gain for you. This is in no way a ploy for me to make millions and then be like, hey, I made a bunch of money with this podcast. I'm done,
Well, I think if we were looking to make millions in the podcast,
we're doing it the wrong way.
we chose the exact wrong subject.
We should be
medium.
talking about what's on TikTok, what's in the media and whatnot. But we don't do that, which I'm glad.
We chose very, very badly for sure.
Yeah. Well, gang, to our new subscribers, all 220 of you, or I guess 200 new people, welcome. Thank you for watching. Maybe you watched this one. Maybe you just subscribed on accident. If you liked it, leave us a like on the video. Maybe share it with a friend. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. I'm already doing things that I think Highland doesn't like.
I'm just sitting over here, just like cringing, just like, oh no.
I think I'm doing it on purpose just to mess with you.
You are totally messing with me. Like, I'm just like, oh God, here it goes.
Well, I think it's a good time now to cut the video because Lance is currently using the bathroom, so it's going to start to stink.
Oh.
But we appreciate you guys watching. If you want to reach out to us, you can always reach out at NopeOpePod@gmail.com. The book is available in the podcast description. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.